What's going on, NFL world? This is your boy Niner Game Podcast here with another video. So this is that preview video for the Rams versus the Panthers, or the other way around, should I say the Panthers versus the Rams. This video is just strictly about that game and what we got going on this Saturday. This is the first wild card playoff game of the weekend of the NFL playoff season. The Rams and the Panthers kick it off. This is going to be a great game. I am definitely looking forward to watching it, seeing everything that's happening and what's going on. But with that being said, man, let's get right on into it. So, taking a look at this, expect SoFi to be rocking for this game. Who knows? Rams fans might actually show up and they won't have to use AI bots in the crowd or the sound system to pump in crowd noise. But this will be a great matchup. Historically, they have faced off 24 times, including once in the postseason. The Panthers have the better record at 14-10. They've only played once when Bryce Young was the Panthers QB and they won that game. So history, old and new, would be on the Panther side, right? Young threw for over 200 yards and 3 TDs, so that bodes well for them. Now, if you're taking a look and trying to compare the teams, let's keep it real. The Rams on paper are the better team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Rams are coming off a win in their final game of the season over the Cardinals, beat them by 17 points, who just fired their head coach, Jonathan Gannon, while the Panthers are coming off a loss, but with a little divisional help from the Falcons. By beating the Saints, they got in. But we can take a look at the numbers and see where they line up for this year. We already know Stafford is obviously the better QB. He's only 2% above Bryce Young in completion percentage at 65%. Stafford threw for about 1,000 more yards than Bryce Young, and he threw for over 4,000 yards this season, which was about 1,000 more yards than Bryce Young had thrown for, and he actually doubled his touchdown output. Stafford threw 46, and Bryce Young threw 23. Hey, what's going on, B-Dubs? So this game definitely is, when you talk about QBs, you already kind of see numbers, output, hell, career. I mean, Bryce Young's only been in the league 3 years. Matthew Stafford's been in the league forever. So, you definitely got to give the nod to Stafford. Plus, Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Although a lot of people will put an asterisk next to it because it was in 2020. At the end of the day, hey, period, point blank, the man won. That was that. The Rams run a two-back system with Kyren Williams and Blake Corum, while the Panthers rely mostly on Rico Dowdle, who at times this season has balled in every way, and in some games he disappeared. Looking at the numbers, Williams is over 1,000 yards rushing for the year, with Corum at over 700 yards rushing for the year. Those two combined for 11 rushing TDs this year. Kyren also threw 3 receiving TDs in there for good measure. For Rico Dowdle and the Panthers, he's just over the 1,000-yard mark with Chuba Hubbard behind him, just over the 500-yard mark. Now, Dowdle had 6 rushing TDs while Chuba Hubbard ran for 1 this year. As far as receiving, all we know is the Rams got this one. Adams and Nakua versus the Panthers, McMillan and Croker. I'm saying, but the numbers were ridiculously split, with McMillan being well over 1,000 yards and Coker being just under 400 yards on the season. So for the Rams, it's obvious, shut down McMillan and make them one-dimensional with the Rams. They are getting back Devontae Adams, who will probably be rotated just so he doesn't re-aggravate any injuries he just got over. The Panthers have Tommy Tremble at tight end, but he poses no threat. Now with the Rams, they have Colby Parkinson, who is a viable threat and has been all year. And they also have Tyler Higbee, unless he's out there. Could you imagine? That would be insane. Give me the second. Yeah, I got to close this window. Here, got to do landscaping early in the damn morning, making all this noise. But either way, back to what I was stating. Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic if the Rams got bounced in the first round. I would love every second of it. But the Panthers, once again, have Tommy Tremble at tight end, but he poses no threat. With the Rams, Parkinson is a viable threat. Tyler Higbee is a viable threat at tight end as well, so they've got options. As a team, the Rams have 47 sacks on the year. 47. That is flat out pretty good, while the Panthers have 30. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Um, the Rams have 16 interceptions on the year, while the Panthers have 15. And in this game, they will have their stars on defense, especially back on the field, i.e., J.C. Horn, Morig, and Rosenboom will all be available for this game. Horn is a stout young DB who, when on the field, causes problems for the other team's receivers as he leads their team with 5 interceptions. Right behind him is Mike Jackson with 4. Um, let's see here. And then for the Rams, their defense is littered with talent in every position. Their safeties and DBs get after it. Forbes and Durant have 3 picks each. The team has 82 passes defensed. So throwing the ball on this team isn't always the best idea. Now, if we're talking sacks, Rams get after it. And one of my favorite players in the NFL, Jared Verse, has 7.5 on the year, while Young had 12 and Turner had 7. So these guys get home consistently. Now, for the Panthers, it's Derek Brown and Nick Skouerson tied with 5 sacks apiece. The rest are, from all levels of the defense. When we look at the game as a whole, I think we can say pretty, definitively that the Rams have this in every way. There's no disrespect to the Panthers and how they've turned things around and how Young is turning into the QB he thought they was when they drafted him. When looking at this game, it's an uphill battle for the Panthers. But, hey, this team, last year, let me see here. When looking at this, it's an uphill battle for the Panthers. But, hey, they beat this team last year, so what's to stop them from repeating that outcome? The truth is, it's the playoffs, and teams play harder, faster, and smarter. I believe the Rams will win this game. I would love to have the Panthers, knock them off, so that's one less NFC West opponent I have to deal with, provided the 49ers advance past the Eagles. If you're a betting person, the Rams are favored heavily. So I don't really know betting. I'm just going to tell you what I found online. I do not gamble like that, just so you know. I never have been a big gambler as far as that's concerned. But the point spread is Rams favored by 10.5 points against the Panthers. Over under total points is set at 46.5. And then the money line, Rams at -105 and Panthers at -115. Now, if you're going to try and ask me what that means, I haven't the faintest idea. Once again, I am not a gambler. I'm just giving you the information. I love what the Panthers have done this season. It's great to see them go in the right direction since they haven't really been relevant since Cam Newton. I'm just saying. But this is the end of the line. The buck stops here. And instead of this being, the jungle that a Ram accidentally strayed into, it's a place that the Panther got lost and found himself outmatched. The Rams loaded up a massive headbutt and made sure he wasn't about to be anyone's dinner and crack that Panther skull. Good luck to both teams on Saturday, but I believe they will party in Inglewood on Saturday. It's just a situation of, for the Rams, this is so much easier. And the reason being is because all you have to do is stop McMillan. You don't have another viable receiver there that's going to scare you. I'm sorry. Like, McMillan is the only real guy, Coker, all right. But Tommy Tremble isn't scaring anyone. Coker's not scaring anyone. And they know if they get after McMillan, they can make them one-dimensional. And if you can make the Panthers one-dimensional where all they have to do is just run the ball and straight up, feed Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, it's an easier game for the Rams. That's not a hard sell for them. They're not overly great against the run, but they're not the worst against the run either. So I think that they would be able to go ahead and shut them down in this game as far as that's concerned. It's definitely something that's a little bit different. And, it's definitely one of those games where anything can happen because it's the playoffs. And you don't know what will happen just strictly based on the fact that, hey, you could sit there and take a look at it and say, hey, we've beaten you 14 out of 24 times. We got you last year. We did all of that. We did everything that we were supposed to do. And in that previous game, Chuba Hubbard led the charge with 83 yards rushing. Rico Dowdle, 58 yards rushing. Bryce Young, 23 yards rushing. So that was 164 yards rushing given up in total. And then in the for the Rams, the Panthers defense gave up 152. So both of the teams ran all over each other. That was not really an issue. You know what I'm saying? Blake Corum and Kyron Williams scored TDs in that previous game in 2025. But at the end of the day, hey, the victor was the Panthers. They wound up winning that game. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Fitzgerald was 100% on his kicks. Harrison Mevis was 100% on his kicks. But at the end of the day, it was just, you know, a 3-point game. Panthers got the dub. And hey, that just shows you that anybody can be beaten on any day. And I think personally that, you know, it's, hey, what's going on, TD? I think it's a little bit different when it comes down to looking at these games, just strictly based on the fact that you have all of the requisite weapons on each team. And when you just look at it once again, it just does not look like the Panthers stand a chance. And they beat them without some of their defensive stars. So think about it like this. If I beat you without my defensive stars, now I've got those guys back in the fold. And now I can do the same thing that I did before. I can try to put up another 164 yards rushing on you again. I can definitely go out there and have Bryce Young throwing touchdown after touchdown. You know what I mean? Although this was in the Panthers' house where they got that dub, they were not in SoFi. This game will be in Inglewood due to the fact um, that the Rams have the better record as far as that goes overall and in the NFC. So we just have to see what goes on. This is, you know, a positive step in the direction for the Carolina Panthers. It's bringing them back to relevancy, getting into the playoffs after being in the league for just a couple years is a fantastic feat for any quarterback. That tells you that they're trying to build around him correctly. For the Panthers, I would say in this game for you to win, just do what you did last time, man. Hell, you know what I'm saying? Wash, rinse, and repeat. You won the game before, you can win it again. You know, you brought it down to a point where it's only a 3-point game, just a field goal separation, and you pulled off the dub. I can't be mad at it. But when you take a look at this game, the Rams just have so much firepower. Devontae Adams is back. You got Puka Nacua. You got Tyler Higbee. You got Colby Parkinson. You got Kyron Williams. If you don't have Williams, you got Blake Corum. You got Matt Stafford throwing the rock around. That offensive line is fairly stout. Like, you know, then you flip to the defense. You've got stars just everywhere you look. It's just so much going on and so many names and so much production that you just look at the Panthers and go, how do you compete? And the Panthers told us in 2025, you can say all those things that he just said right now. That don't mean not a damn thing to us. We going out there, we finna put our helmet on, our pads on, our shoes, our cleats on, you know what I'm saying, our short, everything. We put it on the same way they put it on. So, you know, the Panthers go out there with the mentality of I fear nothing but God, then they should be able to try to pull off a W here. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got to have the competitive fervor inside you to say that you will go out there and fight tooth and nail to win this game. And you've got to have everything inside of you. I know the Panthers are looking at this as a great opportunity. They would have wound up probably in the playoffs if they would have just beaten the Bucs in their last game, even though they lost that game. Like I said, they got that help from the Falcons. So that gives them the perfect opportunity to be able to get into the playoffs and possibly make some noise. And hey, I mean, even if you get one and done, say you win one and you get bounced, Bryce Young, hold your head high, young man. You have done more in the league than most cats have done damn near their whole careers. Hell, I mean, Carson Palmer, fantastic quarterback. He wouldn't win no playoff games, though. Tell you that much. Barely making it to the playoffs, if that. Out there throwing for 4,000 yard seasons and double-digit TDs and all this stuff. And he never got into the playoffs. He never made any noise. When he did get to the playoffs, I think it was only like maybe twice throughout his whole career. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just certain quarterbacks will have all the talent in the world, but they never get to the playoffs or they don't make enough noise, you know what I'm saying, to be considered one of the greats. I always say this, man, Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, one of the greatest throwers of the football. I believe Dan Marino was Aaron Rodgers before Aaron Rodgers. And, you know what I mean? cannon for an arm, fantastic guy. He had the looks, he had the, he had the eyes. He was down in Miami. Everything was working out for him. But then he finally got to that point where he got to the Super Bowl and he met a buzzsaw. It was the San Francisco 49ers, and we wrecked that Super Bowl for him. I know he wanted that win so bad, but yeah, we just went in there and beat the brakes off of him. I believe it was 55-10. But either way, not saying the Panthers don't have a chance at all, because, like I said, history and recent history due to last year says that they would win this game. It says they would get the dub. It says that Bryce Young and McMillan and Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard and J.C. Horn and all of their stars there, they've got it. They know what it takes. And when you walk into a game where you've beaten a team before, it does give you a little boost of confidence. It does tell you, hey, I am a little bit better than I thought. And this team is not a team that we cannot beat. We saw what they did to the Cardinals. Guess what? We ain't the Cardinals. We ain't no little miniature red bird, flying around in trees, eating nuts and shit. We are Panthers, bro. People fear us in the jungle. We got this. And I mean, shit, for the Rams, they can turn around and look and go, hey, you got us that one time, but it was only about 3 points. It ain't that damn hard. All we got to do is just make sure that's not the case this go round. And then again, as I've stated before, it is the playoffs. Teams turn it up in the playoffs. You're going to see guys play a lot harder in the playoffs. They're going to give a lot more than what they normally gave during the regular season because they want to be able to make it. They want to show everyone that they've got this. They want to let everybody know, that they're making noise and they're making noise in the right way. They want to show everybody, hey, we are that team that you got to come in and actually beat. You can't just, you're not going to get a chance to just walk past and walk all over us and all that stuff. You're going to have to come in here, put your hard hat on, AKA your helmet, put on your shoulder pads, put on your pads around your waist to protect your ribs, all that stuff. You're going to have to put your gear on the same way I put mine on. We're going to get on this field and we're going to work it out. And I do believe the Panthers are going to come into SoFi with that mindset on Saturday. I believe that if they ain't already there, they'll probably leave Wednesday or something like that. But that's a hell of a that's travel for the Panthers. Like, that is from the East Coast all the way to the West. Like, technically speaking, that's about a 4 or 5 hour flight. That's just in the air. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to take a bus or drive. Like, that's days just to get from one place to the other. So Panthers have a chance. I'm not stating that they don't. Once again, history would dictate that they do, especially recent history. But I'm looking at all of the firepower. I'm trying my best to wrap my head around it. And though they beat them before, man, something inside of me just says the Rams are coming to take this game over, man. It's going to be rough. I would love for the Panthers to win, for their fans, from a boy, his wife, Jess. You know what I'm saying? She would love to see a Panthers win. That would be fantastic for her. I can tell you this, you just better hope the Panthers and the Bears don't play, because those two will be at odds, and I guarantee he either sleeping on the couch or at a bare minimum, he ain't getting none that week. When it comes to these football rivalries, man, it'll split up relationships for that moment, for that week, for that day. So there's just different things that go on and happen. But I think when you're taking a look at it, just for context, if you're just going to level it off and say who's better in terms of defense and offense, it's just the Rams on paper. They just look better. I mean, you've got Matt Stafford over Bryce Young. Who wouldn't take Matt Stafford over Bryce Young? Come on now. You got the two-back system with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Definitely rolling with that over Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. You know what I mean? You got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. And you're telling me to take Techatora McMillan and Coker over this? Not happening. Kobe Parkins and Tyler Higbee, definitely taking them over Tommy Tremble. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things when you look at it, you see what it is. But at the end of the day, what I would say is, Panthers, go out there with your heads held high. Be happy that you got this far and give them a hell of a game. Punch them in the mouth as much as you can. make them work for this. Don't let them go out there and blow you out. Don't allow the Vegas betting lines to be truthful, because right now Vegas basically got it like the Panthers ain't winning shit and they gonna get their ass beat. I don't think you're gonna get beat like that. I do say you'll lose, but I probably think it'll just be flipped. I think the Panthers may lose by about 3. This is going to be a close game, people. I do not predict a blowout for this game. I predict the Panthers defense going in there very headstrong and wanting to get out there and win and get after Matthew Stafford and make his life a living hell. And I predict that the Rams defense wants to do the same thing to Bryce Young. But here's the thing. I can shut down McMillan and make you one-dimensional because there's no one else to throw to. If, hey, Seahawks, Eddie, what's going on, buddy? I can shut down Puka Nacua, but then I still have Devontae Adams. But if I shut down Devontae Adams, I still have Puka Nacua. If somehow, some way, some freak of nature chance, I have Nacua and I have Adams shut down, I can just go to Blake Corum or Kyron Williams, or I can go to Tyler Higbee or Colby Parkinson. The Rams just have more offensive firepower to go to and to lean on than what the Panthers have. You know, they've got Xavier Leggett, but he's not been doing much. He's all right. He ain't been great. You know what I mean? So it's for the Rams, it's not sleeping on them for the guys that they do have, but recognizing if these starters don't cut it, there's nobody behind them to scare you. So it's just being smart about it, like keeping that in the back of your mind. You don't walk into a playoff game going, we're just going to beat the brakes off of these dudes. But you can walk into the playoff game going, okay, what do I have to worry about if this guy goes down? Or if that guy isn't available? Or if I can shut down this dude, who else do I have to worry about? The Rams have an array of offensive weapons that you've got to figure out how to stop. Whereas with the Panthers, it's different. If Rico Dowdle don't start running crazy, I ain't really worried about Chuba Hubbard. If McMillan don't go off, you really think I'm worried about Coker or Leggett? You see what I'm saying? Like, it just, you're looking at it and it just doesn't make sense as it pertains to the talent level and what the outputs are. It's just night and day. So I will say this as a final word. I do believe that the Rams win this game, unfortunately, and they progress in the playoffs. I would love for the Panthers to win. Once again, just this is one NFC West team less that I have to deal with. And the 49ers beat the Panthers this year, if I'm not mistaken. So we're okay with that. But I will say this for Rams fans. Don't walk in there just thinking this is just going to be a walk in the park. Don't go in the SoFi and think that it's going to be that easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go to Inglewood to South Central LA. Hey, cross the mountain, put a K. Sorry, man. It's that Mac 10. It's the West Side connection. You know, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? When you from where I'm from, you dig what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Whoa. But once again, Rams fans, Panthers fans, have some good fun, have some back and forth banter. You know what I'm saying? Have a couple drinks, have a good time. Don't do the craziness, man. Don't turn this into a real physical fight in the stands or anything like that. I know passions run high and, you know, you add alcohol into that. I'm pretty sure a couple people probably got a vape or two, smoking some weed, whatever the case may be. Just don't let it get to actual full physical violence. Let the violence be on the field with the players where that's where it's meant to be. If you're out there in the crowds, man, just be good to each other. You know what I mean? Win or lose, you know, just keep it chill. You know what I mean? Just make sure everybody get out of there safe, and make sure that everything is cool. But if you're going to be at SoFi, I would predict Ubering there because parking prices are insane and you don't want to pay that. Hell, if there's a train that you can take and get off close to SoFi, check that bug, jump right off, go to the game, have a blast. Whether you're in the nosebleeds, whether you're there close to the field, wherever you're sitting, have yourself a wonderful day. Okay. All right. My man called it. He said 2017, Panthers take the dub. I'm not mad at you, brother. I hope that this happens. I really do. And hey, like I said, history and recent history are on the Panthers side. They have this game in the bag, technically speaking. So don't be too upset about it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for everyone out there, if you're going to the game, have a blast, man. Have fun, talk a little shit, drink a little something. You never know. You might make a friend. You might meet somebody that's real cool. I got friends that are from opposing teams. I got Eagles friends, Cowboys friends, Rams friends, all that, man. I got all of man. Ain't people from everywhere. It don't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? I go with them. I live in Arizona. I go to Arizona games and talk crap with the Arizona fans. And they are awesome. They're cool with it. You know what I'm saying? We talk a little shit, we drink a little something, but we keep on pushing. That's just life. But this game, once again, at the end of the day, close game. And I know you're caught on an upset there, but I will say this. I think it's the Rams. I think they win. I do think it's another probably 1 to 3 point game. I don't see it being much more than that. But everyone take your time. Have fun this weekend. Remember to be safe. If you're going to be drinking, catch a train, catch an Uber, you know what I'm saying? Have your designated driver, whatever the case may be. But go out there and have fun, man. Enjoy it. The football season is almost over, and this is the road to the Super Bowl. Now, see, for the Rams, I just thought about this. For the Rams, it would be so much sweeter for them. They are there's 2 teams in the playoffs right now that it would be fantastic for them to get this win. The reason being is because it is in the 49ers house. Seahawks don't like us. Rams don't like us. If they were to make it to the Super Bowl in our stadium and win, I'll never hear the end of it. I would never hear the end of it. People would just be on my head left and right. Look, man, we went into your house and won the Super Bowl in your house. Where were you at? You were in the playoffs. Right, see you in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating. And it would be horrible, especially if another NFC West team came onto our turf and won in our house. I'd never hear the end of it. Rams fans be talking trash all day. Seahawks fans wouldn't shut the hell up. Outside of Seahawks Eddie. Seahawks Eddie is a fantastic Seahawks fan. Love that guy. He is awesome. I ever meet him, drinks on me. But what I will say is, you would love that, because I can tell you right now, if this was in Lumen Field or if this was in SoFi and we went in there and won as 49, we're talking all kinds of shit. We are going crazy. We are running our mouths to no end. You'll never hear the end of it. And we're going to celebrate in your house all night long. Shout out Lionel Richie. So keep that in mind, man. That's part of the reason that I really need I need the Panthers to get this done, bro. I need y'all to drag that Ram into the jungle, introduce him to all of the things that are there, hunt him quietly, sneak into the leaves and the trees, be right on the edge, pounce on him, grab him onto that neck with those canines, drag him into the jungle, and have a feast. But at this point, you could venture a little too far away from the jungle, and that Ram may know that you're there and say, you know what? If I can get the right shot, crack his skull, I ain't nobody's dinner. We'll see what happens on Saturday. This will be a beautiful battle. Not a battle you would normally see out there in the wild. I'll be honest with you like that, because Rams and Panthers are just in 2 different parts of the world. They don't really come across each other. It's just it'd be the most rarest occasions. But looking at the skill set of both animals, technically the Panther has the advantage, but you don't get that Ram down and he cracks your head open. I don't know what to tell you. These fools bash heads to establish dominance with one another. So you can only imagine if a Ram gets a right angle on a Panther's head, bow, it's a wrap. Go to sleep, don't wake up. Get them a pillow and a blanket, that's it. Shout out to Rams fans, shout out to Panthers fans. I am rooting for the Panthers. I want them to win, even though I know my pick is going to be the Rams. I would love for the Panthers to get this dub. I'd love to see them continue to progress in the playoffs. I'd love to see what Bryce Young has to offer. And I want to see him under the bright lights. I want to watch how he performs and what he does and how he feels about this stuff. I think it will be great for him. You know what I'm saying? Matt Stafford's been here before. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs, albeit with the Rams, because when he was with the Lions, it playoffs. Playoffs? What are you talking about? Playoffs? That's literally how it was because he barely. I think he made the playoffs once, maybe twice with the Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford, that is. But thank you for tuning in and hanging out with your boy, man. If you're catching me at the end, go back and watch from the beginning. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend, whether it be Panthers, Rams, whatever the case may be. And hey, if you're going to be out there at SoFi in Inglewood, have yourself a good time. Keep your head on the swivel. If you are coming from out of town and you are a Panther fan, I will tell you this. Though things have changed in Los Angeles, though there are a lot of areas that have been gentrified, and though things are different, I want you to understand something, okay? For your own safety, be very mindful of where you go and what you are wearing. You are a Panthers fan, you might want to stick to Inglewood where you're watching the game and whatnot, and then get up out of there, okay? Inglewood is a 99.9% blood territory, all right? They wear what I'm wearing right now. This red shirt and this paisley print with the red, with the Cali. You'll hear a lot of whoop. They're Inglewood, man. Inglewood family, Inglewood Denver Lanes. You got a lot of Inglewood gangs out there, man. And like I said, 99.9% of Inglewood's bloods. You probably got maybe one or two Crip sets if you have that. And I state this just because when people come from out of town, they don't understand the politics in California and in Los Angeles, to be specific. Los Angeles and Inglewood are right next to each other. It's not far. It's literally one bus away. Hell, I lived in the jungles. I could take the 212, be in Inglewood in about 10 minutes. So I'm just telling you, be mindful while you're out there. Be mindful of what you're wearing, what you say. I know the Panthers colors are, your black, your blue, and your gray. And while you're at SoFi, you're probably good. Not gonna have too many issues. But if you're moving and grooving out there in California, in LA, just be very, very mindful. They're playing in Carolina. What? How? I've been thinking they're gonna be at SoFi this whole time. How are they playing at Carolina? Carolina hasn't had a better record. What? Wow. Hold up, bro. Hold the phone. Why is what? Panthers must have had the better divisional record. How the hell does that happen? The Rams are 12-5. Well, I guess my bad. Excuse the hell out of. Thank you for telling me that, though. Wait a minute. But they lost. Okay. All right. Well, take back everything I said. Go to Carolina, do what you do. I don't know Carolina. I don't know how they move out there, but hey, Carolina's at home. My bad, people. I've been saying this whole time that it's going to be at SoFi. I could have sworn it would be at SoFi just due to the records. Damn, that is really insane. Oh, you know what? Yep. Everything is coming together now because of how they wound up in division and everything. Yep. Okay, got it. Okay, well, if you're in Carolina, move how they move in the South. Be mindful. Be careful of certain places. Don't go certain places. Still keep your head on the swivel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it all came to me. I appreciate you, Al. I really do, because I completely neglected the fact that Carolina won their division due to all of the flip-flopping in the NFC South. It was so damn confusing because the NFC South is used for the last couple of years has been owned by the Bucks, but for the most part, you typically have like some confusion there because you never know who the hell gonna win because they're always winding up, in bad situations. I mean, hell, look at them, 8-9, they won the division, boom, done, easy. So, apologize for what I was saying, but if you do got to come to LA, still take heed to my words. Those words still hold true. You know what I'm saying? I can move in Inglewood. I know folks. You know what I'm saying? If you come from out of town and you got to go to Inglewood, you don't know nobody, be mindful of how you move. Be mindful of what you wear. Be mindful of what you say. Okay? Give you a little story. I've told people before. I had a buddy of mine. He's from New York. He loved a New York hat. You go to LA, be mindful wearing that New York hat. That's for the Nutty Block Crips. And if you ain't from Nutty Block and you wear that hat just because you like New York and you like the Yankees, it's going to be misinterpreted as something else. That's just how that works in LA. That's how the politics go. You just got to understand it where you're going. You got to move and groove in the right places and understand the rules wherever you go. But if you're in Carolina, once again, you're in the South. So this is what I would tell you about the South. I got a buddy of mine. It's not the same place, but it's the South still. He's from Tennessee. He'll tell you straight up to this day, there are places I do not go in Tennessee because I am not allowed and I don't want to go there. There are places in Carolina, most likely, that you probably should not go to, and places that you got to be mindful of. You know what I'm saying? I tell you another little situation. I was in a very, very small town called Paducah, Kentucky, one of the tiniest places I've ever been in my life. You could probably fit 1 billion of those inside of one LA. I went in and I asked these people for directions to a laundromat because the laundromat at the hotel we were staying at was full. The man reached under the counter, picked up a shotgun, and looked at me and told me that I best be getting along now. So I went back outside, talked to my friend that was with me because we were both going to wash clothes. And he says, "Did you find out where the laundromat was?" I said, "No." They picked up a shotgun, told me I should go ahead and get about that shop. That's what I did. He walked in there, came back 2 seconds later. Wash house is 2 blocks up the street. Some places, it's the way the world works, people. I'm not about to be that person to be over here trying to, go out there and do all this extra stuff and fight. But look, man, I ain't that dude. I'm just gonna be cool. I'm gonna get up out your face. I'll find things on my own if I have to, but you just have to be careful no matter where you move and how you move. So just be very smart about it. Shout out to the Panthers for getting their division. And shout out to the Rams for having to travel. Now the Rams got to travel. So that's going to suck. You're going from beautiful, sunny, smooth weather and everything being cool and chill, and you got to go all the way across the country. And it's going to be cold while you're there. I believe the Panthers play in the dome, but it is still going to be cold as all shit. It's the South, and it's still wintertime technically. So you got to get out there and deal with that weather and whatnot. I mean, not physically because you'll be in a cold stadium, so you won't have to deal with the actual elements. But believe you me, if it's cold outside, it's cold in that damn stadium. I'll tell you that much. It ain't that easily controlled. And hell, at the same time, if you want to cut on the bill, hey, shit, I'll give you a little bit of heat, and I don't give you too much. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We will see what happens. I think this game is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great game, first game of the playoff season. So definitely watch it if you ain't got nothing to do. And other than that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you once again, Al, for reminding me that the Panthers won, and this will be over there in their stadium. Since I was sitting here the whole time thinking they was going to SoFi just based off of records, I always think personally, if you have the better record than the other team, you should go who has the better record. Honestly, if this was me and I was making the playoffs, I'd have been like, no, y'all got to take your ass to SoFi. I don't care that you won your division. You won your division off sheer luck. And then at the same time, you're under 500. Go to LA. You're going to like it there anyway. You know what I mean? But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend. And don't tell them I got the location wrong. But thank y'all so much. Everybody stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. Go Niners.